You know what 50 basically just did? He just teased the sequel. He's like, yo, at first it was the Pops. Now the second season. You know the second season is usually more lit than the first. Second season is watching how they were tag teaming. Justin, Christian, and Diddy.
Diddy's sons are stepping into the spotlight with their own documentary, promising to reveal new perspectives on their father. Sources say Diddy himself may speak publicly for the very first time. This project comes as a direct response to 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, which is currently dominating online conversations. With 50 Cent already planning a follow-up installment, the stage is set for a high-stakes documentary showdown, as both Diddy's family and 50 Cent prepare to push the limits of the docuseries format and bring their stories head-to-head.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's sex trafficking trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still think your father's innocent? Your dad was up for years! Your dad was up for years for abusing women! That's wrong! You think I'm wrong!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling for Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury.
Justin and Christian Combs will both appear in the documentary, marking the first time either has publicly addressed the controversy surrounding their father since the trial began. With their own legal matters still unresolved, the spotlight on the Combs family intensifies, and if Diddy joins the project, it could transform the documentary into a strategic effort to shape public perception as everyone involved navigates ongoing scrutiny. The stage is set for a tense, high-profile release that promises drama, perspective, and a closer look at how this influential family responds under the public eye.
Are going to be in this. It shows clearly. We are also going to hear from Diddy himself on a phone call while he's in prison at Fort Dix. Already seeing the way people are reacting, I do not think this is hitting for them the way they want it to. And I think this is also because everybody knows that Diddy is actually appealing his sentence that he was found guilty of right now. I think that if Diddy just took accountability for the things that we have all seen him do wrong, he would do a lot better than trying to push a certain narrative. Because to me,
the upcoming documentary featuring Diddy's sons promises unprecedented access, including a phone call from Diddy himself while he's serving time at Fort Dix. Early reactions suggest it isn't landing the way the creators had hoped, likely because audiences are aware that Diddy is currently appealing his conviction. Many believe that taking accountability for past mistakes would resonate far more than attempting to control the narrative. Yet, the family appears committed to telling their version of the story. Interestingly, the person showing the most excitement about the release is someone few expected, 50 Cent. He not only reposted the trailer on Instagram, but also reacted publicly, seemingly using the docuseries to take aim at Justin and Christian amid their ongoing feud. Before diving deeper into that conflict, Let's break down exactly what 50 Cent shared.
They come tap in as expected. 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docuseries of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus Network. Well, 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promoted the trailer where you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the record, and he put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really promo.
Interview 4. The moment the documentary trailer dropped online, the backlash was immediate and intense. Fans and critics flooded 50 Cent's comment section, with one writing, "Sheesh, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree." Meanwhile, social media lit up with reactions like, "We already know he loves to control the narrative with media manipulation." The response was so overwhelming that Zeus Network CEO Lemuel Plummer, a longtime friend of Diddy, stepped in to address the controversy directly and manage the situation before it spiraled further.
Take to his Instagram right after this trailer for this docu-series dropped, and he was getting tons of backlash from people saying they do not want this crap, they only want to see baddies. He said, to be clear, this documentary series is centered on providing Justin and Christian the opportunity to share their personal story and lived experiences, particularly as their lives have also been directly impacted. This project is not intended to endorse, defend, or vindicate Diddy or any individual, nor does it seek to justify or minimize any action that had been alleged or adjudicated. Do you find this part odd because of all the wording that was just shown in the trailer? The lies, the truth, the foes. Anyways, as a network, we believe it's important for allowing individuals to speak for themselves just as any credible network entering the documentary space does. Our role is to provide a platform for the stories to be told honestly and without prejudgment. What viewers will see is raw, real, and authentic storytelling. That is the essence of this project. We respectfully ask that the series not be prejudged before it's seen. Everyone will have the opportunity to watch, assess the content, and arrive at their own.
This documentary clearly serves as a strategic attempt to shape public perception, and it is far from the first time Diddy has tried to control the narrative. The project appears designed to redirect attention from 50 Cent's documentary and the controversy currently under scrutiny. Reports suggest that even during the trial, Diddy was working closely with his sons to craft a more favorable public image.
Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
If the judge, in fact, feels as though Diddy is trying to circumvent the rules of the prison and he's doing things outside of what he's allowed to do, that's going to carry a lot of weight when we talk about being released on bail, because what they're trusting is that you will abide by the rules that allow you to be out.
Are people really being paid to rally support for Diddy outside of his trial? Because that is what many are now alleging, as people have been standing across the street from the courthouse in free Puff and free Diddy shirts. With, for example, journalist and content creator Emily Hagan posting a TikTok of this group of people in matching shirts that also then included this interaction.
These are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no.
No.
It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. The lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm
And while that TikTok was initially posted around 5 days ago, it's now gotten a lot more traction as people like 50 Cent, who famously not a big Diddy fan, has started posting about it and trolling Diddy by posting seemingly edited images of him in the shirts and writing things like, okay, now where do I send my $20 invoice, guys? A deal.
The timing of the documentary's release raises eyebrows, coming just after Diddy filed an appeal. Recent court documents reveal that he is asking a federal court to overturn his Mann Act convictions and 50-month sentence, or at the very least reduce the sentence and secure an earlier release. This context adds another layer to the docuseries, suggesting the project could also be a calculated move to influence public perception amid ongoing legal battles.
On Diddy Combs seeking an immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those prostitution-related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment. This week, lawyers for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs urging a federal appeals court in New York to either order his immediate release and reverse his conviction or lighten his over 4-year prison sentence.
This appeal was expected, especially when the defense filed a motion for a new trial and a notice of appeal. And the arguments are attacking the conviction.
Perhaps the most striking aspect of the situation is how Justin and Christian are tied to the controversies surrounding their father. For the two of them to come together and attempt to present Diddy in a positive light, despite their own ongoing legal challenges, raises serious questions. Many observers suggest that the Sun's involvement in the documentary is driven, at least in part, by their connection to these issues, making the project as much a defensive move as a narrative shift. Christian Combs also reacted publicly to 50 Cent's docuseries, posting a now-deleted tweet that appeared to threaten him, while 50 Cent's sharp response remained online. "Lil bro, first close your mouth when you take pictures. I've been successful in multiple ventures, records, shows, liquor, power. You're still riding on Wi-Fi and family connections." Meanwhile, court documents allege that Justin Combs was closely involved in his father's controversial events, with photos surfacing that show his presence at key parties. Observers point out that his alleged involvement adds another layer of scrutiny to the documentary, as both sons face ongoing questions about their roles in these situations.
Before Diddy and sometimes others sexually assaulted them. There are also allegations that Diddy forced these victims to have sex with prostitutes as he touched himself. He called these situations freak-offs, and oftentimes he recorded them. Here's where some of the allegations against his son, Justin Combs, come in. So all this takes us back to February, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and sex workers. There's actually a picture of Justin Combs with an allegedly underage girl shown in the lawsuit. Now, in this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited, and a freak-off ensued. As an aside, this is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise, and at times
Christian Combs is not far behind in facing scrutiny, as recent reports indicate he has also been named in a lawsuit. According to court filings, 26-year-old Grace O'Marque alleges that Christian engaged in inappropriate behavior toward her at one of Diddy's yacht parties, claiming she was drugged and harassed. This latest development adds even more tension surrounding the documentary, highlighting the ongoing legal challenges facing both sons and the high-profile nature of the family's public narrative.
And she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use among sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that it was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit, that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28th, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Markey to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Markey alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private area.
There was also the time that Christian was involved in helping his dad cover up a shooting. This was even referenced in the docuseries that 50 released.
In an alleged shooting cover-up. According to court documents, it happened on September 12th, 2022, outside Diddy's Chalice Studios. Lil Rod says Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Combs disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and she says it was facilitated.
Christian and Justin appear to be on the defensive, fully aware that 50 Cent is preparing a follow-up documentary that could further expose their actions. Rather than wait to be scrutinized, they are attempting to get ahead of the story, using this documentary to shape the narrative on their own terms. By speaking first, they aim to position themselves more favorably and influence public perception, casting their involvement in a more sympathetic light before 50 Cent's next installment is released, making the project as much a strategic move as it is a personal statement.
What do you mean 50 Cent got 140 more hours of Diddy just recording himself doing all this crazy stuff on camera? 140 extra out. Do you know how many terabytes that footage possibly is? How many hard drives? How many bottles of baby? All right. You telling me we got the whole 4-part series documentary and that was just, what, a nickel of what he has just sitting? Like, 50 is going to use this to just crush this man. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm still stuck on Buddy, the producer, that kept waking up every single day, still there with his butt on soul. Like, bro woke up every single day like, ouch, brother.
Shit is about to hit the fan. After what 50 just came across in that secret little Diddy footage that he paid from the videographer that Diddy didn't pay, they are saying 50 has footage that will not only add more time to Diddy's sentence, but Diddy might not ever come out. Listen up, check this out. Now y'all know that footage that where Diddy is behind the scenes talking to his lawyer and all of this stuff, and people like, damn, what was Diddy recording it? Well, Diddy was recording it because he thought he was about to beat the case. So he wanted to do a Netflix documentary. Didn't pay the guy, and then 50 got all 140 hours of footage of secret Diddy tactics. Well, there's a guy named Neil who was mentioned in the court, works right up under Diddy, was organizing everything. Allegedly, they are saying that he is on video, film, tampering with witnesses, giving out addresses, offering money, bribing, we'll pay for your lawyers, all kind of shit that could be counted as witness tampering, obstruction of justice. And 50, of all people, has his hands on this footage. And I'm hearing that this could implicate Diddy's lawyers in some bullshit. They could be charged. This shit is getting wild. And I'm hearing that this 50 Cent documentary is just the fucking tip of the iceberg.
Industry insiders suggest that Diddy may be pressuring his sons to participate in the documentary, knowing that their futures are closely tied to his. If his reputation continues to unravel, their careers could be at risk, especially since much of their lifestyle has been supported by his resources. This perspective highlights the high-stakes nature of the project and the complex family dynamics at play, revealing an uncomfortable truth that few are willing to discuss publicly.
They were born into this. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. The choice to that guy. If that man calls and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, what else are they going to do? They gotta bet on him. I'm sure they're all praying he makes it, because if not, what are they going to do? And they definitely can't count on Grandma Janice. They're screwed. One way or the other, they're screwed.
So there's no escape for them.
How? Was there escape for OJ's children? Their daddy is the new OJ. And we already know he done it. Like, OJ's kids went through hell. And there was reasonable doubt. We didn't see a video of him doing anything. We didn't see him running around in a towel with a knife, with a, We seen that with the Dipper.
The most troubling allegations concern Diddy's relationship with his children. Freddie P., an artist who previously worked with Diddy, claims to have witnessed highly inappropriate behavior involving Diddy and his stepson Quincy Combs, suggesting a pattern of concerning conduct that reportedly dates back to Quincy's childhood. These serious claims add another layer of controversy to the family narrative and further complicate public perception of the documentary.
Like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? We make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother no gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy.
About Quincy, right?
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
I'll be sure, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son like that?
This documentary, if it can even be called that, appears to be Diddy's attempt to control the narrative and buy time, prioritizing image management over transparency. Every scene, interview, and statement seems calculated to steer attention away from the controversies and shape public perception. It is far from the first time the family has pushed back against 50 Cent's docuseries. Diddy's legal team has already filed a cease and desist and is reportedly threatening to take action against both 50 Cent and Netflix, seeking over $1 billion in damages.
Diddy's legal team sent Netflix a cease and desist letter, but now the big rumor is that they're preparing a defamation lawsuit, potentially for $1 billion. Over the Sean Combs The Reckoning documentary. They're claiming it uses stolen and unauthorized footage to create a shameful hit piece and damages reputation.
Is there precedent? Because when it's a documentary, footage doesn't necessarily have to be approved if it's considered a news piece.
And since you didn't watch it, Ebro, there's one piece.
I watched some of it.
Where, there's very intimate footage of Diddy with his lawyers. But in the documentary, it also talks about how he hired a young person to film him for X amount of hours, a lot, and didn't pay him. So if 50 comes along and is like, I will pay you for this footage.
Well, unless...
that's the biggest congrats, by the way.
Well, depending on what the documentation is between that, that person and Diddy.
Yeah.
Right? If that
Why would he not
documentation
have
says that this footage is yours if I am paid. If I am not paid, the footage is mine.
Well, no, but I think the default would be it's his. If they didn't end up doing paperwork and the guy's just been allowed access, that's his footage.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. If there's not paperwork.
So if Diddy never signed paperwork, he was like, "No, I'm gonna get you when I get you."
Yeah, that's right.
Now Diddy never gave him $1. Now Diddy went to jail. He's holding all this footage. 50 goes, "I'd like that footage." All right, how much, bud?
The cease and desist is unlikely to have much impact, as 50 Cent has already disclosed how he obtained the footage. According to reports, Diddy refused to compensate his editor, similar to what happened with Lil Rod. As a result, 50 Cent stepped in, covered the costs, and now holds exclusive rights to all the material that could be released. This move ensures that 50 Cent maintains control over the narrative, regardless of any legal threats.
Getting it is your bonds. Yo, man, how 50 get, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated.
By placing his sons at the forefront of the documentary, Diddy positions himself as a supportive father, a caring parent, or even a misunderstood public figure, all while subtly redirecting attention away from his own controversies. Unlike 50 Cent's documentary, this project is widely expected to deliver a tightly controlled narrative, crafted to defend the family's image rather than reveal the full truth.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries.
Iranian. Now, he posts this as a text message. I don't know if this was a text message to his lawyer, where maybe he was instructing his lawyer to write this letter to the judge. If you don't know, the judge is accepting letters in the case of the sentencing of Sean P. Diddy Combs, who's set to be sentenced tomorrow. And 50 Cent decided to write his letter to the judge as well. If you don't know, at this point, I think it's abundantly clear that 50 Cent is the baby father of the child that belongs to not only 50, but the woman that is identified as Jane Doe. That woman, I think we now know, is Daphne Joy. So Daphne Joy's baby daddy is 50 Cent. So maybe there's a reason and there's some relevance here for 50 to have somewhat of a letter being sent to the judge. Why? Well, one of the two victims, or the main two victims, which is victim one, we all know is Cassie, but victim two is known as Daphne Joy. Who's Daphne Joy's baby father? 50 Cent. So he writes a letter and he says, "Dear Judge Summarian, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. there hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. This is how you know he actually wrote this. This is bad grammar. Despite him trying to teach a class in there. As you're already aware, the government has spent maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his sons, who's dealing with his own R-word allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keep most of the baby oil away from the general public, and Babies Needed, my Netflix doc on this scandalous subject.
50 Cent is clearly aware of the controversy surrounding Diddy's sons. Months ago, he submitted a letter to the judge opposing Diddy's early release, explicitly calling out the sons as being deeply implicated in the same problematic behavior as their father. This adds another layer to the ongoing feud and underscores why 50 Cent's follow-up docuseries is generating so much attention.